Hey guys, this is Zeddy, and in today's video I have a Maxell UR 120. I thought this was kind of interesting because it was a 2-pack, but it was almost kind of broken off a little bit anyways, like it was popping out of its packaging, so I might as well do a quick unwrapping. It just comes right off. I might as well just save these as loose cassettes. Now these are actually from 1998 and 99. Yep, 1998 and to 99. So kind of close to the end there. But it's not quite, because you can see it's still the man in the chair packaging here. What's also interesting is, I don't know if you guys can see, is the hubs are solid. Okay, so that's very interesting because, you know, in vintagecassette.com they show this version, you know, with the hubs that look like this one right here, you know, but so these aren't solid, you know, there's like this little pattern to it, and you know, but these don't. You can see they do not. It's relatively solid, like they're older URs. So I actually got 3 of these right now in my hand. This one was actually loose on its own. Also interesting is that it is a 120. Now, I've had 120s before when I was a kid, but I haven't had one recently, and especially not one that is relatively modern, because I thought they stopped making that since the 80s or something like that, or early 90s. But apparently they were still making it till relatively recently, well, all things considered. I don't know if you guys wanted to see this. This is basically the kind of packages that we get here in the U.S. A lot of the UK folks were surprised at how they come in here in the States. They've never seen packaging like this before. Apparently from a store at Raley's. Not aware or familiar with that store. Must be very regional. For $4.99 each. So these were $2.50. Maybe they were Canadian, who knows. But you've guys seen these before. These are basically just modern URs that you probably, or relatively modern ones. It may not be an exciting unwrap, but might be interesting because this is a, you know, 120 version. I would love to record on this just to see how it actually sounds. People say that they, you know, they sound like crap, or not really like crap, but more like it won't be able to take as much signal because, you know, the tape is thinner. Oh, interesting. This one says open, and I can't open. Oh, there we go. It's starting to open. Come on. Really? You're stubborn? I can't slide it off like a sock or something. Oh, this is stubborn as hell. It will not break at all. I can't even rip it or tear it. Interesting. Never had to open it like that before. But here you go. want to compare that with the modern one that was unwrapped. You can probably see. The UPC, as you can see, is similar except for the last number. Let me see if I can get you guys up close. Come on, focus. So, packaging barely changed. So here is the 2018, basically the last of the last. You can see that this is super, super clear. This one isn't. There's a tint, slight tint to it. Still a screwed shell. It's got a 5th screw on here too, because I don't think this one does. This one has the screws, but you can see it's only on 4 corners, not on the one in the middle. Ah, here's an interesting one. That looks different compared to the modern one. Let's see what the J card looks like. Looks pretty much the same as the other one. Come on. Ew, I'm having a hard time with that one. There's a definite difference in feel though. This one is like super thin. It's like, this feels like magazine paper on the new one. This one is proper hard stock card, or card stock. But other than that, the printing is the same. It's like they use the same printing and everything for both cards. But the difference in feel is definitely there. We can definitely feel the difference. Now, since I got the Bic pen, I guess we can probably do so you can see it's red for 60, and typically I thought blue. Oops, sorry. You know what? I'm gonna turn on the flash, guys. So it's green for the 120. That's interesting. The 121 is a shorter lead. Oh, and that's the older one. And there you have it. Here's the tape. Sorry, let me sit back a little bit. There's definitely a difference in color. The new one is, you know, more brown. But the bottom one is a darker brown, I guess a deeper brown. But already you can tell that the 120 is much thinner tape because you can see right through it. Whereas with the 60 you can't. But even still, the 60 is using, I bet you it's still using the C90 tape because you can tell, like, it is so, the tape pack is so much smaller, you know, compared to, and by the way, the tape ends here. What you're seeing here is just the, slip sheet. This guy is packed to the brim. But that's the interesting thing right there. The tape of the 120 is so thin you can see right through it, but not the 60. Also, I noticed that there's a little texture on the C60s, whereas the 120 is very, very smooth, much smoother than the C60 for sure. But I don't know if that comes out on video. So, alright. I'm gonna probably update with the comments on the comment on this video of how this records whenever I find something to record on, whether it's a double disc album or maybe 2 different albums. This is definitely not for, well, I wouldn't anyways, you could, but like a mixtape, maybe a crazy long 2-hour mixtape. I feel like there should be a theme, like a full album for something like this. But yeah, that's it for this. I'll probably record on it and bias it up on another video. Thanks for watching another tape unwrapping.